Starting in 2017, the residents of Mukuru and the Nairobi city government undertook an ambitious multisectoral upgrading process known as the Mukuru Special Planning Area, or SPA. Mukuru is a large, densely populated informal settlement. No one organization would have been able to undertake planning alone. The interdependent, multisectoral challenges in informal settlements like Mukuru require integrated planning. Improvements in no one sector alone can solve them. It is crucial to develop sectoral plans in tandem, working together across disciplines. Unlike greenfield sites, people already live in informal settlements. Residents and their civil society partners can only manage small-scale, piecemeal investments. These improvements usually focus on one sector alone.
If you go to informal settlements and you look at it, the first thing you ask, where do I start? The challenges are complex. You'll have people doing reactive projects, a tank there, a street light there, without any proper synergies. So I think with the SPA and the integrated approach of looking at things holistically, then you're able to solve the different challenges that people of Mukuru faced or the people in the informal face. It solves so many challenges at the same time. I think that makes it easier to deal with the issues of the informal settlement. For me, I think with the SPA, I've moved from an idea of it's impossible to possible. From impossible to plan, it's impossible to change our informal settlement.
To address these challenges in Mukuru, the city government and their partners formed interdisciplinary planning consortia. The consortia convened expertise in priority sectors. These included housing and road infrastructure, water, sanitation and energy, environment and natural resources, and health and education services. Local government departments, along with leading civil society organizations in each sector, led the consortia. Each consortium created a sector plan. The consortia then integrated these plans to form the final upgrading plan for Mukuru. Consortia create a platform for collaboration and coordination. In particular, consortia 1. Build coalitions among historically adversarial parties like local government and civil society. 2. Convene resources and a broad array of expertise. And 3. Provide an effective model for co-planning with communities. Consortia invited many players to take part. They also created broader interest in and commitment to the upgrading process. Plans and outcomes are stronger when parties work together. Consortia minimized competition between organizations that might otherwise have undermined the process.
Planning in Mukuru was the responsibility of the Nairobi city government. But local government departments normally do not have the capacity to undertake planning alone. So forming consortia expanded their capacity by recruiting additional expertise. Sector experts from leading civil society organizations contributed their specialized knowledge to each consortium.
The consortia also enlisted participation across local government departments. Planning is often the sole domain of the planning department. Consortia enabled other departments to contribute expertise, capacity, and momentum to the process. Partners also pooled more resources for planning to complement local government resources. The consortia enabled members to do what they do best. Each consortium could focus on its strengths and rely on other consortia where they lacked expertise. This promoted synergies and more inclusive plans.
Our goals were really the same. We were targeting the same people. The corridors they were opening for the roads were the same ones to be used for providing the other services like the street lighting. They were the same service for the water, the sanitation, and for the roads.
Forming consortia required strong leadership. Leaders in local government navigated departments to recruit people and leverage resources. Civil society leaders filled gaps, recruiting needed expertise and mobilizing resources.
Leaders understood that planning is a political process, not just a technical one. To achieve the SPA's goals, they articulated a compelling vision and cultivated alliances. What made the organizations come in this process? I think a well-articulated vision, or the way it was presented, made it very easy. In fact, all the organizations, even if they didn't have the money, they really wanted to be part of this process. And so I could give credit to leadership, because again, if a consortium again lacks proper leadership, then it's very difficult to persuade and convince people.
With the help of the Muungano Alliance, an association comprised of the Kenyan Urban Poor Federation, the Akiba Mashinani Trust, and Slum Dwellers International, Kenya, the consortia collaborated closely with Mukuru residents. Each consortium held community planning forums with household representatives from across Mukuru. This included planning and validation meetings for all the key sectors.
Even the county government itself was very supportive, because we had to receive some experts, officials from the county government, and each and every docket that we had the consortiums, like education, water and sanitation, electricity. Actually, the county government was very supportive, and I can commend them for that.
The SPA process was new and therefore ambiguous. Assuring that consortia had adequate resources and institutional support was a big challenge. City government departments and civil society partners worked together to identify resources. Because work was on a pro bono basis, it was challenging to keep some consortia members involved. Some consortia were also more motivated than others and performed at different levels. Since 2017, consortia members have given $1.6 million in their time. Despite these challenges, major tasks were largely completed on schedule.
The lack of resources during the planning was a big challenge, but it also had its advantages. Because many times when we needed to do something and we did not have the money to do it, we'd sit together and ask ourselves, how can we do this without money? And many times we'd come up with new ways of doing things. And also many times people would say, actually, I have something small here and there, and these resources would come together and enable us to achieve what we needed to do. This lack of resources and this co-production also helped us to deepen the sense of ownership in the planning process amongst the people and amongst the partners that were a part of the process.
The consortia were pivotal in the success of the Mukuru SPA. New consortia continue to be formed. For example, to plan the riparian zone along the Ngong River. Consortia provide an important model for coalition building and iterative incremental planning.
So the county government worked closely with Muungano Alliance to bring 42 partners on board from leading civil society organizations and universities. County departments led each consortia and coordinated the partners. The consortia model proved itself an effective strategy for collaborating closely with communities and building a coalition among historically adversarial parties. The consortia also enabled members to contribute different types of expertise to develop an inclusive, locally appropriate and integrated upgrading plan for Mukuru. We believe that this model of a consortium, having different consortiums, is a good model that would be able to ensure that other settlements also benefit, just as Mukuru has done.